increasing your capabilities. Hey everybody, it's Michael with Asymmetrical Preparedness. Always be improving your situation. As preppers, we have to be proactive, not reactive. Whereas we do react to things and they may shift our preparedness focus, but we need to think ahead. We need to prepare ourselves for what is coming. That's the whole idea of being a prepper, right? Yes, it is. So today, I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to build a new raised bed. Show you guys how to do it. Really simple. We got a bunch of logs, we got a bunch of cardboard, and we're going to build a raised bed along this area here. Adding on to basically extending that raised bed. So it's just we're going to build off of that and it's going to continue down. So that's going to be a good project. So we got 12 8-foot logs. So I'm basically going to make another 16 feet onto this raised bed. Another 16-foot raised bed, which would be sweet. I'll count it as 2 raised beds. I'm just not going to build them separately. I'm just going to connect them all. So it'll be one solid bed. Actually, I'm going to take a look at that. Maybe if I have room, it'd be smart to make them separate. But in this location, I don't think so. Actually, I'm not going to do that. So right now, I'm just going to, over here, as you see, I didn't even really weed because I'm going to lay down a bunch of cardboard. And because the front side is visible from people walking around, everything like that, the back side is not. So I'm going to lay the cardboard down where there may be a little bit of cardboard sticking out that edge. Who cares? Nobody's going to see it. I'm going to line it up with this edge and then lay it down. So I'll just show you some of that really quick. I am doing what I just said. It's always good when you have things like this. Big washer box. Basically what I'm going to do is just break it down a little bit and cover that area up. I can tear it to whatever size I want, you know, which is probably what I'm going to do. Or maybe not. Probably here what I'll do is I'll just tear these flaps off and then I will use it the width of the raised bed. I'll just lay it down long ways. And then I'll probably do is wet it so that it conforms to the topography of the land, of the area that it's going on, so it's not just all sticking up. Because I want to make sure it's nice and flat, so then when I put the other cardboard on top of it also, it will be nice and flat, so it'll be ready to put in all the good organic material put down next. And then after that, we will be putting down the all the organic material, probably some mulch, stuff like that, and then some topsoil. So, like I said, I'm just going to line it up this edge and lay it out flat. And then what I'll do when it's lined up with this edge is this log here, you can see, I'll just roll it over on top of it. But I want to make sure that it's actually covered up this edge. What I will do is I will fold this edge up so that the weeds won't really grow through it, hopefully. So these weeds right here, I will just lay flat, and then I will get this, and I'll roll this log into place. Actually, first what I need to do is make sure that it's even. There we go. And I'll roll this log over into place like that. That's about where it's going to be. But because I want it to look nice, see how there's like cardboard and stuff like that sticking through? the edge. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it over a little bit and then line up the log so that it doesn't show. So let me roll the log back. I'll move that over a little bit and roll the log back into position. And that's about right. Then I'll make sure it's straight. There we go. That's about straight. And then what I'm going to do is probably not going to put the log on that side yet. Actually, I probably will. Probably put the log on that side now, and then I'll stack up a bunch more cardboard in here. So let me grab the other log. Oh, one trick is when you're doing this, if you're doing it with logs, as you can see, come in different sizes, right? So try to make the sides of the raised bed using, each layer, the logs about the same size, or at least that each side adds up to about the same height as the other side, so that it's flat and it's even. I like using the thicker logs on the bottom because that makes sense, right? It's the one that's closest to the ground. It's the one that's going to rot soonest. It's the thickest. It'll take the longest to rot. It'll be underneath the soil. It'll last the longest. And because you don't want to have a bunch of little logs and then try to pile big logs on top of it, right? I mean, that's just common sense. So I'm going to take this over there and put it over there. I don't want it that direction because it slightly goes down a little tiny bit. So I want the thicker end on back here, the thinner end of the log up here, so that it stays level. Same thing, really simple. And all you gotta do is roll it into place. Push it up, and I'll make sure this end is nice and tight before I start nailing stuff together and all that. But so right now, I'm going to add, some more cardboard inside here. Actually, what I'll probably do is I'll probably start tying it together. So I'll show you that in a second. But what I'm using for the end of it is some of that leftover roofing metal from a metal roof that you see this raised bed made out of. That's going to make the end. And since it's continuous, I'm just going to, right here where this one ends and the next one begins, I'm just going to put a board there to tie them together on the inside, so when I put the soil in, you won't even see it. We'll talk about that in a couple minutes. And then, so basically, I'm just going to make one 16-foot continuous bed, and with only one end cap, because it saves me material, makes it easier, and it is what it is. So I'll get to the next step. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, the little thumbs up, share the videos, do all those kind of things. Please, I appreciate it. And comment. Comment section's great. Tell me what you guys are doing. And talk to each other, tell each other stories, and ask questions. It's good to go. Stand by. All right, one thing I figured I'd show is how I'm doing this end. So attaching logs, as you see here, you're off camera, there you go. This log to here, what I'm going to do is I just put in these old trim pieces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to nail through the trim pieces into the logs just to make the logs stay where they are. And as I stack the logs up, I'll just nail them into the trim pieces, and it'll retain that end of the bed. So trim pieces are a little bit thinner, so I don't need as long a nails. So I'm just going to drive some through here. There we go. Just drive a couple per side. That's it. I know you can't see what I'm doing this side, but all right, this side, you can see this over here. move so you can see it better. Just that I'm hammering, it's no big deal anyway, but there we go. Put another one in over here. There we go. And that'll be, it's all about building the structure as you go up. It's not as super solid right now, but it will be as we start tying things together. And then the logs themselves will tie together with, you know, this log to this log to this log. I'll put a board down here, screw it all in, nail it all in, whatever, nice and tight so it'll hold it all together. Right now I just basically, because I drove these into the ground, that's just going to make it so the end has like a stable point. It's not going to be pushed with the dirt and stuff like that. So it doesn't have to be, this isn't rocket science. Yeah, this is a redneck way of doing things? Maybe. That's how I do things though. I just make it work. So I got that end tied. I'll have to think about the next step. See where I'm going to go next. So we've got a little more progress done. I put more cardboard down, full length, put that other board in there. And then what I did to tie the two together is I just put a 2x4 that bridges the two of them, and then just nailed it to the logs. So this will go up and it'll tie them together, and they will have other tie-togethers all the way down in different locations. But we're getting rid of a bunch of cardboard and getting the raised bed done. So that's the progress so far. Working our way to being done with this project, but still got some more to go. So we got the cardboard down. What we got now is we got all the base logs down. I had a 2x4 here, but didn't work out. The size of the log I had was wrong. So I used these boards as my tie points, and then I just nailed them. You can see there and there. Nailed them to the logs to bridge the gap. Brought them down, and then the end piece is some of that metal roofing. So this log was shorter than this log, so that's why we put that 2x4 in there, and then we'll have to just figure it out on the next logs as we're going up. And that's one of those panels. I have other panels here that I can use if I need more height. And yes, I have a little gap at the bottom. I'm gonna have to put something across there. I'll figure that out before I'm done. And yeah, so this is project new, about 16-foot raised bed, coming along, looking good. I love making progress. I love moving forward. I love getting stuff done, increasing our ability to feed our family. Very important. The second layer is now complete. I did have to, this top one on this side was longer, so I had to get the saw out, cut it to allow this one to fit so they're all the same length, so everything works good. That's why it's nice having a saw. Yeah, not that saw. That saw's fine for like little boards like that, but if you're gonna cut a log, do it properly, have the proper tools for the proper job. So this is what it looks like so far. We only have one more set of logs to go on, and yeah, we'll be golden. So this is gonna be sweet. Can't wait to get this done. And then we're gonna start filling it though. So that's how it looks so far. I'm trying to think of anything else I've learned or anything else I've done. One thing I did was, okay, the biggest logs are there. The next biggest logs are on this side. So then you got to go with the next biggest on this side so that they end up level at the end. So the bed is basically level. So you got largest, next largest, 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 next largest, largest, or smallest, or next smaller, smaller, sorry. You know what I mean? So that it comes out, try to judge the logs so it all comes out. And depending on where you put the thick end and the thin end of the log, to also help keep it level. Just things to think about. If you want to do it right to make it look nice, that's the way to do it. Finito. Next to that raised bed, we basically just extended that raised bed down about 16 feet. All three layers are on, nice and level. The back end even worked out pretty well. You can see it's pretty much level with the end. So that's where planning comes in. Planning and doing it properly turns out really nice. We back up over here. You can kind of see the whole raised bed. It's a nice raised bed. That'll last a lot of years. So do things like this, people. It's not that difficult. I know some of you may not have access to logs and stuff like that, but there's tons of materials you can use. And so now I already started putting in some of that, that paper that will compost down. And I'm going to go grab some more organic material and start the filling process. Next you see will probably be, I'll probably show maybe some of the filling process, show you guys how we do it. But right now, so basically right now, is what I do is I go back in there, in the woods, and I get sticks, twigs, branches, stuff like that. And I'm going to put a good layer down in here. It's part of the Hugelkultur gardening method. Ancient Germanic mound gardening. But what it is giving all that good organic material in there. It retains water for more moisture for the soil. It breaks down, provides nutrients for the soil. And it's just, I like doing it that way. And what I do is I probably lay that kind of stuff down about as thick as, like, say, the first log. Maybe a little bit more. And then I'll put, composting type stuff. Maybe some mulch up to about maybe like midway up the second one. And then the last about 8-10 inches will be good, nice topsoil mushroom compost mix, a garden mix. And then it'll be it. Then it'll be ready to plant. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so as you see and as you just saw, the new raised bed is built. Not finished, but built. So it's looking good. Kind of on camera, it kind of seems like the angle is not right here. It's a tiny bit off on the top log. Okay, so it's not perfect. But you see what I'm working with. And that's pretty close to perfect. So please, do things like this. Make use of what you have around. Make use of what people will give you. Make use of anything you can to build raised beds. Do container gardening, in-ground gardening, building chicken coops, horse areas, pig areas, whatever it is. Move forward, please, and always be increasing your ability to produce calories for your family. We can have all the food stockpiled in the world, but it's not going to do us any good if we can't replenish that food storage if it becomes a long-term event, or when it becomes a long-term event. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful day, and blessings to you and yours.